My boyfriend is getting a little too close to his old army buddy, and I can't believe what I found on his phone. I, female 30, have a boyfriend of 3 years. We will call him Sam. Oh my, male 33.
Stinky.
In the beginning, he lost his friend group because of a fight, and he was pretty alone, but that wasn't really a problem as we were pretty happy together.
Okay.
Anyway, he was in the military years ago, and sometimes we talked about his time there and his buddy that we'll call Leo. Male
Leo.
30. I sometimes made jokes about their gayness for each other as they were pretty close.
Why foreshadow?
A few months back, I wanted to surprise him and find Leo's contact as I thought it would be nice if they could talk again as they lost contact over the last 10 years.
What a nice thing to do.
Yeah, super nice. I found him on Facebook and gave him Sam's email, and he was excited and thanked me and told me he would write him.
He was
So excited. Sam was super happy to hear from him, and he was excited to meet up with him. He asked me if I wanted to come with him, but I told him I could meet his buddy another time. They should use the time to talk and get to know each other after all those years.
okay.
Everything seemed cool. And they sometimes went for beers, watched hockey games.
Yeah.
And they got really close again. I was so happy because he seemed to be less depressed and actually went out again. I actually met Leo once and we had breakfast together and he was a really nice guy. A month ago, I noticed they met up more often. And as happy as I was also a bit bummed because he had less time for me, but it felt selfish to tell him so. Then I noticed we were doing it less. You know, we had been doing it 3 times a day sometimes.
God.
And we didn't do anything for almost 2 weeks. With 2 full-time jobs and my health problems, it was always weird to schedule, but I just noticed it happened less and less. Usually he would initiate it more often, but then I had a feeling it was always me who asked or tried to feel him up. Again, I didn't talk to him like I probably should have and thought he was just working more hours and was probably tired or, depression is a bitch to deal with. Fast forward to yesterday. I wanted to take a cute picture of our cat who was sleeping in a super weird / funny position and I couldn't find my phone. So I used his. We're super open about our phones. We have, we know our passcodes, everything. I saw a text pop up with kiss emojis and curiosity got the best of me. I opened it and it was Leo who told Sam that he missed him and was excited about the weekend where they would meet again and told him he had a naughty surprise. I was shook.
Leo, no.
And scrolled up further, and my fear was confirmed as apparently they have been sleeping with each other behind my back for at least a month.
Oh, no.
He came back downstairs, so I put his phone back where it was and didn't say a thing. I was shocked. I went to bed early and said I had a migraine, and he knows that I need darkness and no noise, so he went into the living room to watch a movie with headphones. I cried and cried and cried and felt so much anger. I brought this person, Leo, back into his life and basically presented him on a silver platter. But on the other hand, if it weren't Leo, maybe, Sam would sleep with someone else. Did he do it before? Was our entire relationship a lie? I never got the impression that he wasn't happy with us. When we did it, it was amazing. I wanted to marry this man and have his babies, and now I just feel sick to my stomach. How do I even start a conversation about this? How do I compete with a man? Someone he has known for so long.
Someone whose cheeks are
Yeah.
military grade.
Did they sleep together when they were in the army? I'm confused. I don't know what to do. What should I do? So, John, there's more, but quick intermission. What do
Yeah.
you think?
I'm sad.
You got to confront. You
have
to say it. I haven't been in a situation this bad, but I've been in a situation.
Oh, is this a Sam's Chronicle?
This is a Sam's Love Chronicles from another era.
The prequel.
My first girlfriend. We dated in high school. She was 2 years older than me. She went to Georgetown. And then I go to college and I remember she would come back, she would come visit me and I would notice these things on her neck. And I'm like, what are those? And she's like, oh, spider bites. I would learn later she was getting railed by the sailing team and
Not the sailing team.
yeah. And those were hickeys and not spider bites. So there is an edit.
Okay.
All right. So he came to my mom's house and wanted to talk. And he told me everything. How he and Leo were experimenting while in the army. But it never really involved feelings. But when they met again, they were just buddies. But then on a drunken night, they started to fool around again. and they started doing it. He said he's probably bi and that he feels super crappy about how he broke my trust like this. He promised me Leo is the only man he's ever slept with and there weren't any women either. He also promised me they were always using protection. He begged me to stay together with him, to work on us. He told me he would cut contact with Leo, that we would go to counseling, we would do anything. I told him I still love him, but I could never see him again. He isn't the person I fell in love with. I also told him that the foundation of our relationship is broken.
Yeah.
How can I be together with a person where I constantly have to worry? Is he sleeping with a mailman or my cousin, the new neighbor, or whoever?
I love that assortment of characters.
Yeah. We both cried and I told him I need time. I'll be at my mom's house for a while and while I get this all sorted. Rough. I think OP made the right decision. I mean, I want to know what everyone else thinks. Put it in the comments. What do you think OP should have done? Who's the a-hole? Who's the angel? Give us the whole gamut. But John, what do you think?
I feel terrible for OP. What was the partner's name again? Do we know? We know Leo.
Sam.
Sam, that's right. If Sam had just been honest from the beginning, and said like, we fooled around in army, we totally came in with intentions and like starting to catch feelings, and wanted to be upfront and honest with you, just like this is just what's or Leo made a move on me and I don't know how I feel about it. I just wanted to come tell you, like, even that, potentially maybe not reconcilable, totally up to OP, but that at least would have been like, all right, like you were like, as soon as something kind of actually happened or went down or you recognize your strong feelings, you go and you're honest about it.
Well, it preserves the integrity of the relationship, right? And it's like, you can maybe salvage something or look back at it, look back at the person better, right? And like just think like, oh, like, just didn't work out. Yeah. But like, speaking from experience, like, if that breach of trust is broken, you're going to have a really hard time just thinking that person is like a good person or a trustworthy person. Yeah. And then it like makes it hard to just have a relationship with them ever. Yeah. And like, I think like, just, you should like that happens, right? Like you meet someone and you could fall in love with them, right? That stuff can happen. But if that ever happens to you, like just try to be the best person you can be and be upfront before something happens and give context to your partner too. Yeah.
At a minimum, like when it started going down, you could have even been like, I'm literally like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah. And I don't know where I want to go. And but I wanted to be upfront with you as soon as possible, that you at least preserve the honesty.
Yeah. But dude, that's freaking rough.
It's rough.
Yeah.
As rough as Leo dishes it.
I have been in a situation where I was like the last guy that a girl dated before she decided that she wasn't into men anymore.
Oh, nice. I got a small one too, but the floor is yours.
Okay, so I just broken up with an ex-girlfriend and I was just like not in a position to date at all. But like I was like hooking up with some people. And I remember like I was in this space where I was just like, I wanted to be just candidly honest with people and not really just like as honest as possible. And honesty was the only metric that I was going off of. And I remember this girl came over and we were watching Watchmen when that came out, the TV show. Yeah. And she said she wanted to be a screenwriter. And I remember like, oh, that's cool. Like, what are you like, doing to go towards that goal? And she's like, I think I'm just gonna like wait and figure it out and just it'll come. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I kind of challenged her on that. I'm like, oh, I don't think it will come if you actually don't like put effort into it. Like you really need to like really want it. And basically we went into this whole long conversation where she ended up crying, saying she doesn't think she has what it like takes to like commit to being a screenwriter. Right. Like she doesn't feel like she really wants to. And it was like a super like emotional, at least for like, I didn't think I was being mean, but we were just having like a very candid conversation about something she wanted to do. Anyway, she ended up crying and we didn't hook up. and then she left and I didn't talk to her again. And then I ran into her in WeHo and she just like went up to her. She's like, wanted to thank you. After our date, I realized I was just really into girls. Still not a screenwriter though.
Okay. So that to me, I'm a little bit like, she was like, you got me on the screenwriting. Now I'm going to get you on like, I don't even like guys no more.
After you realize, I was done.
Yeah.
I wasn't, honestly, like it was like, I feel like the advice that I was giving her was actually solid, but the way that I was like giving it was, I don't think, very empathetic.
Yeah. Candor is a two-way street.
It is. Yeah. I mean, you have to be like
in a relationship.
When you're giving advice or you're giving candid advice, it needs to come from a place of love. And so if you don't know the person, then it does like, it's like, it doesn't really do anything. And then you just have to make sure that you're actually like, is your advice gonna help?
Yeah.
You know? And there's only certain people that are like ready to hear it.
Yeah. Honestly, recently I used to try to like, you know, if I felt like, okay, you know what, this might challenge someone, but like I do want to like still giving it. Now I'm currently more in a place where I'm like, I feel like if someone is just not even like a bit, like, you know, there's levels to it. If they're not even leaning in at all towards anything, I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah. I think I guess my thought is like, I want,
you would want that in that scenario, right?
Well, I guess like for me, I would want my friends to give me advice.
Yeah.
If they ever thought that I wasn't doing something right or could do something better or like missed an opportunity or there was an opportunity or whatever, right? But then, you know, you just also have to be in the place where you're ready to receive it. And so if a friend asks advice, then I'll give them that advice. But also like assess, like I was giving a friend, like he was like getting into design, right? And he asked me some thoughts on his initial designs. And like, he wasn't in a space where he needed criticism. He needed like support, show it like, cause it was really cool that he was like, oh shit, you're working on some sick shit. And like you kind of need to applaud, like there's certain stages where you just need like applaud action.
Yeah.
And then once enough action has been made over a series of time, then you can be like, this is how I think you can improve.
That is huge.
But I think it's like a lot of times you need to reward action. And that's the thing that you should like really dive into rather than, you know, the criticism.
Getting to the next step is 10 times more important than like, someone might not be able to do the 20 things that could optimize it anyway. So,
but what's your story?
Well, a little bit less intense. But like I would like, you know, have girlfriends or date, but bro, I was terrified of kissing.
Really?
Like just like stomach was just melting out of my butthole. So like literally like 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, even up until the end of 10th grade, I would literally just like kiss my girlfriend on the cheek and run away. I was so terrified.
That's so funny.
I was so terrified.
Why you don't remember why you were scared?
I think I was just like insecure and just like, oh man, am I gonna like do it where like kiss right and you know that kind of thing. And just the nerves. I don't know, general nerves. But my first like girlfriend that I did anything like holding hands and like stuff like that, it was in 8th grade. And then
I started so much earlier than I did.
But I didn't really do it. Like
still, I didn't have a girlfriend.
I don't even know if I kissed her on the cheek. Yeah. Literally.
I think I had my first kiss in like really like sophomore year of high school.
Yeah. Mine was freshman year, but it was it was barely kind of barely a kiss. But it was a kiss. I'll give it to myself. But yeah, so you know, we would
dab your past self up.
Yeah. But I was cuddling up on her. We were holding hands.
Nice.
And then I can't even remember what happened. I think you said you want to be friends. And then eventually I found out she was batting for the other team.
Wow. Hey, you know, at least you know it wasn't you.
Exactly.
Yeah. There were forces bigger than you at play.
This is true. This is true.
But should we jump to the next story, John?
We've got another troubled couple who won't let their fiance help their grieving friend.
Come on, man.